Hello. After World War II, the Soviets occupied many of the Eastern European countries. And they wanted to stay there because they wanted to make those countries communist. But the countries could not do anything about it. They could not. In 1947, when hostilities were completely done, Austria, one of the countries occupied by the Soviet Union, asked the Soviets to leave their country. And of course, they just laughed. What? Just like that, we will leave this? They refused to leave. From that time on, people started to organize praying of the Rosary. To a point that, from border to border, all the villages started to pray the Rosary, and they started to go on procession, and then they had a statue of Our Lady of Fatima, sculptured by the same person who sculptured the statue in Fatima itself, and they started to bring it all around the country, to the point that every day there were big masses of people praying the Rosary. They called it the assault of light because they carried candles. Just praying the Rosary, and praying the Rosary. To their surprise, the Soviets told them, we are leaving this country. In the month of May, they announced that they were leaving the country. Without them being asked, they just announced it. And by the end of October 1955, the end of the month of the Rosary, all Soviets were gone in Austria. And they called it expelled by the Rosary. Instead, some years, 2 years after, Hungary revolted. They also did not want the Soviets there. They sent them tanks and so on and so forth. In less than a month, there were 2,800 people killed. And 200,000 people had to leave the country and become refugees in other countries. In Czechoslovakia, they also revolted, but immediately so many tanks came, and in one day, 97 people died. The revolt was done in one day. Whereas Austria got their liberation in 1955, Hungary and Czechoslovakia and the other Eastern Bloc countries, they got their independence only after the Soviet Union collapsed, sometime in 1995. A long time. The power of the Rosary. The power of the Rosary. It is not for nothing that everywhere the Blessed Mother was appearing, in troubled places and everywhere else, the Blessed Mother was just saying, pray the Rosary, pray the Rosary, pray the Rosary. Because every time we pray the Rosary, the following things happen. Number one, every time we pray the Rosary, we stamp on the head of the serpent. And every time we pray the Rosary, we kiss the Blessed Mother. Because every Rosary we say, whether it is in groups or whether we are alone, our Blessed Mother is with us. Our Blessed Mother is with us. That is why when the Minister of Education went to visit Don Bosco, because, at that time, England was well known for its educational system. It was the best in the world. And they were wondering how street urchins, were getting high marks in the public schools. What was the secret there? And so he went to Don Bosco's place and wanted to find out. And Don Bosco said, I'm sorry, you will not. Our secret is, something that might be strange for you. Oh, try me, he said. Oh, we pray the Rosary. We pray the Rosary. And then the Minister of Education said, what a waste of time. Repeating. They could be doing more things, studying better with the time they spent in praying the Rosary. And Don Bosco said this wonderful words. You know, Minister of Education, I would rather end my friendship with you than to make my boys stop praying the Rosary. The Rosary is not just a prayer. It's a weapon. It's a weapon. The most effective weapon against the enemy. And for you all gathered here to pray the Rosary, oh my goodness, grace of God is waiting. He is not stingy. He wants to give those graces that we need. When we pray the Rosary, they come to us sooner and immediately. Thank you very much for listening. Let us pray the Rosary.